look so pretty, you're sweet, Amarillo. And got up to Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona. Don't forget Nona, Big Sun, Moscow, St. Bernardino. Won't you get hip to this kind of tip?
What's up, team? This is Robert Porter with the I Love San Bernardino County radio show on CNBC, KCAA, 106.5 FM, 102.3 FM, 1050 AM, where we will talk politics, culture, or history. And I have been doing all of that for the last month, and I've been having an incredible time in San Bernardino, having a great time going out to the powwow. We have some great events coming up like the air show. We have an election coming up. I'm hoping my co-host Carmel Rowe is on her way right this second. She'll probably be popping right in. We got Mr. Al Kelly in the house and Sung Kim chilling today. How you doing today, team?
Very good,
Awesome.
very good.
Thank you very much.
Ready for change to occur.
All right.
Real change.
For sure. Now, I'll talk a little bit about what I just left. I just left a little event over at the Center for Spiritual Living. It was supposed to be a forum for the second ward, I think, or a question and answer, a meet and greet or something. But I just saw Sandra there. But Sandra did a good job. She got up and did a speech, and it's for the Paris Hill Park Neighborhood Association, which I guess I'll be a part of because that's my hood right there. Yep. But we just never really had anyone take charge and set it up. So there was a nice lady who was setting that up over there, and I just wanted to go a little further and ask everyone out there, if you don't have a neighborhood association, maybe you should ask why. And if you find out there is one, maybe you should go. And if there isn't one, maybe consider getting a team together and starting your own neighborhood association.
The most important thing in the city.
Yes. Yeah, action starts on the home turf.
Yes,
definitely.
Everything is local. And like if you can get together a strong unit that has a common set of complaints, a common set of the good things that are going on. Goals are always important. Then our politicians can hear what's going on at that level. And my main thing, I'll just tell you the truth. My main concern there was that they get the potholes fixed. I'm tired of going everywhere in our city and there being potholes. I mean, come on. You go, as you're driving into Highland, the potholes disappear.
Then don't vote against the gas tax.
I'm just saying, like, fix the dang potholes. I mean, if you're driving a Mercedes-Benz or if you're driving a VW Bug, doesn't matter. When you hit a pothole, you think, what the heck? Why is there a pothole? Don't my taxes go to fix these holes?
Hey, Robert, can I ask you a question?
Yes, go ahead.
Since San Bernardino is bankrupt, how do they afford anything?
I think what they do is they call up Domino's and send in the pics, and Domino's comes and fixes all our potholes.
Right, yeah. And that Parmesan cheese doesn't compress too well.
They are not bankrupt.
Yeah,
they are making money at this point. They just have to.
We're coming out of bankruptcy.
Yeah, we have 7 years now.
I'm curious, where's this new business influx of money coming from? Or is it just more federal grants?
It's mostly consultant ideas,
hotels.
right?
No, hotels are probably one of the major sources of income for the city.
Except that one downtown that they touted has been closed for 8 years.
Yeah, that one's just like a tax benefit for somebody.
Well, we know that.
There is a mystery in that building that I have yet to...
It's Saudi finance. We knew that during the Obama campaign.
When I first came to town, that was the rumor.
So let's send you to Saudi Arabia and have you talk some crap to him and see if you can get it back.
Well, I'm not going to say my name. I'm not going to say my name is Khashoggi.
Yeah, you may never come back. No, right. You got to be very careful doing that stuff in those countries.
I went to Saudi Arabia.
I had a friend who owns a lot of land in San Bernardino do a worldwide check on who owns that property, and it's a holding company, but no one can tell me who it. I mean, they can't say.
This is another thing. They do not have a fictitious business name, and they do not have a county license. The county loves real estate fraud. That's what it runs on. The law requires that they do that, but there's no businesses that do that.
We should look into those but hotels is definitely the way that San Bernardino is making money. Tourism is coming here.
And we have great things. We have cannabis events that hopefully
Yeah.
we're going to keep going.
Yeah. Right.
We've got raves and we
Yeah.
got concerts.
And
we
we do-
got the powwow. I mean,
Yeah,
but
there's still
there's a lot of
building.
good things.
Right. But this whole real estate, that's a whole nother topic we should.
No, I know it is. I know it. Well, I'm curious because
And it might be better to have when we do
Forum
that
on it?
conversation,
Sure.
and
Well,
actually
it-
have some experts.
Well, it could.
Yeah.
Could lead into politics easily enough, for sure. I mean, real estate really is the center of the
There's the expert.
There she is.
Carmela's here
right now.
You.
I think that's just my signature.
fashionably late.
Every week. I try.
Welcome back.
She's on Carmel Road time. It's okay.
All right, I love
Yeah.
You know, I
love you
always
here.
say, I always joke, like I could never really have a job because I'd be fired because I'd be late every day. Okay.
All right.
All right. But let's all speak into the mic today, because
Okay.
so,
So we're-
Jim can hear us over there in Arrowhead Farms.
You were talking about Sandra.
Yes.
And how the Cecilia did not come.
Yeah,
What,
she didn't
didn't
show
make
up.
it?
I was very disappointed. I wanted to ask
Okay.
them both questions
Today?
about about what was going on, and she didn't show up, so I didn't really get to ask her any questions. But I asked Sandra. I said, "What's the first thing you're gonna do when you get in there?" And she had a little spiel, and I said, "No, I thought it was fix the potholes." Because that's what I want them to do. I mean, fix the potholes, pick up the trash, and then do the normal business of the city, but make our city look decent enough to where we can drive down.
But that's why I'm asking you. If San Bernardino is just coming out of bankruptcy, they can't have any money. I mean, what you're going to put the money to is fire and police first. And, we were supposed to be bailed out by federal infrastructure.
No. Let me tell you, there's enough money that already go to the police. They need to use their money properly,
I agree.
and they need to staff accordingly, and they need to actually have a real plan instead of a fake plan. Their fake plan is to continue to get federal government assistance so that they can continue to be, my mom's, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the word whore, but the county whore is what my mom always says.
Yep.
I mean,
It's pretty close.
if somebody really wanted to do something like, Robert wants the potholes fixed. I need a little more than the potholes. Okay? I'm going to tell you that every single morning I take my kids to school. I get off on Orange Show Road. There's always freaking trash. There's freaking homeless on Orange Show Road and East Street. Then I go. Then I always drive up Arrowhead and I get back on the freeway on 5th Street because my office is downtown. But every single time in the morning, it's 8:15. There are prostitutes walking down 5th Street. This is our main entry into the city. And there's prostitutes. And they're all over. And their asses are hanging out. And everything else. And it's like, do we not see? I just think everybody's blind. I mean, am I the only one who sees this?
Well, I'll tell you, Carmel.
It would be bad if a prostitute went in a pothole and then sued the city, man.
Well, I got to tell you, just for what it's worth, Redlands and Yucaipa have tons of massage parlors that are not massage parlors. We have got the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI to look at both of those. So one is a little bit more overtly like San Bernardino.
Well, let me tell you, I might not have a problem with the massage parlor. Like, I'd rather you freaking tax it and make it freaking legal than just let my kids are 11 and 12. They got a sex education. Why? Because we drive around San Bernardino. That's not fair. As a mother, I start to think, man, am I a bad mother because I subject my children to San Bernardino?
No, you're not. No, you're not. That sometimes is life. As bad as it may be.
I mean,
You're not a bad mom. It's just there's some bad characters that we need to like.
wait, do you guys not realize
Help.
that if you drive down the street, there are bottles of piss all over the city from people pissing in bottles and throwing them?
Yeah, How do we solve that thing? I mean, like this is I seen some areas.
Porta potties.
Well, no, I seen that happen though. Like I went down to El Cajon, and there was this one spot where there was a lot of homeless activity. You could tell that their answer for them not using the Chevron was to put porta potties. But they were disgusting.
And when we put porta potties,
Yeah.
like when they
Horrible.
built the 9th Street Park, they were doing hooker things and shooting up in them, and they weren't using them as porta potties.
So but seriously, there's got to be an answer to this. I mean, like
What LA is
okay,
doing?
well, this is what happened to me.
I
Like,
have some.
I was at Starbucks 2 days ago. I pulled on in. It was right in the morning. The crazy, I call her the crazy lady. She's out there always pulling down her front of her dress and everything, doing stupid things probably on methamphetamine.
Yeah.
And then she goes over behind the trash can at Starbucks, right in front of me, pulls down her pink panties and goes pee.
See?
And I was like,
But that issue has to do with mental illness. And
no, but if she
Only
had-
30%.
If there was a bathroom, maybe she wouldn't
boy,
have
I
to
don't
do
know
that.
about
They look mentally ill, but the studies show about
I'd
30.
love to see that because I can't even
Because-
imagine that.
If you're on the
It's
street,
okay
you're
to
mentally
be
ill.
mentally ill, but
Yeah.
how are we going to give them
We have-
a bathroom?
We
You
have
know,
$7.5 million for the last 99 years at least from HUD funds. And we have for 99 years misspent it, okay? And if you can't say 99, I can tell you the last 12. If we spent $7.5 million properly for 12 years, we wouldn't be looking at what we're looking at.
So the state just gave $100 million to all the counties. San Bernardino got 9.4, and you can apply for that grant. And it's going to go directly toward the homeless. We know it's a problem. It's here at every county. Any nonprofit can apply for that money, and it's going to come up really soon. But the people that I talk to say, how is that money going to be spent?
They
That's
don't
the
monitor
question.
it.
Right. How is the money going to be? And no one's monitoring it. It's going to eat.
It goes on administration fees.
Right. It is if nobody has that check because it's supposed to be going like LA. LA actually has facilities now.
Right.
Where people go in every night like they do in New York City, they do in Boston, they do in Providence. You basically go and you have to take a shower. They clean everything. It's very labor intensive, but you're taking care of that situation, whether they want to be there or not.
San Bernardino on record has 600 beds for homeless that they house every single night.
Wow.
Plus the ones that are outside.
What about putting like some type of shelter at
Right.
at the parks, and then it could be
No,
self-cleaning
not
every
for the
day?
parks.
It-
Why can't we have buildings
Right.
throughout the city that you can use the bus so that you can be clean and so that the bus can be paid federal
Beautiful.
money so that you can have gas
Yep.
and there's a reason for it
So
and people won't be
actually-
pissing all over the
actually,
city.
see, what I realize is that there's got to be a couple levels because some people they won't ever leave the park,
They
but they
won't.
still deserve a place to sleep.
Yes.
Some people want to leave the park and move up to the next levels,
Yes.
try to get
Those
integrated
two.
back into
Right.
society.
Uh-huh.
Some will never sleep in any kind of thing in the park and go
Right.
hide in the wash.
Right.
There's different levels, but we have to get each one. Otherwise, they're just congregating all together and sleeping straight on the benches right there.
Nobody wants to sleep in the park. If they want to sleep outside, they definitely don't want to sleep in the park being harassed. They would rather sleep in the wash
Right,
or
right.
somewhere
I
in the
agree with that.
wilderness.
No,
Which is where they are.
Exactly.
But if there was a designated spot to where you could,
Yeah.
this would be like it'd be kind of like a porta that could be clean, just squirted out everything.
Exactly.
But they could have a bathroom and just sleep there for the night, and then only one person
But
per one. or
Robert,
something
every
like that.
city need. I mean, you get it, and look at Redlands. What they did was they had the food bank right next to ESRI, and they moved that. And where the hell did they have to go? They went back to San Bernardino and Ukaipa. They're treated like they're prisoners of war. It's terrible. And so
In Hungary, they just made the country. They just made it illegal to sleep outside, to be without a job. I mean, it's if we're not careful, we may end up in that same kind of atmosphere.
Somewhat illegal to do that, but as the mayor said today,
Where you saw the mayor today? Where you see the mayor today, son?
I had actually a one-on-one with the mayor. Other people were there.
We got a star in the house. We have a star. Now, what
I
did
got
the
him
mayor say
one-on-one.
today?
So what was the conversation? son?
Oh, it was great. He gave me a diagram of how the city charter worked and how it works now, and he was really great to talk with one-on-one. I have a new appreciation for the mayor.
Well, that's
okay,
amazing.
as a person. Okay, there's policy issues which we should really be talking about, right? But
Yeah, as a person, he's a decent human being.
a great guy. I
Yeah.
like. There's a kind of a thing I like about his
Yeah.
presence.
He's kind of a nerd.
He's kind of a nerd. Yes,
But
he's
got
kind
a
of shy.
a dry humor.
A dry
Yeah.
humor. But I
But
noticed
it's there.
today that he's getting better at the whole
He
thing
is.
of being a mayor. Like he made a jump.
Yeah, he
He
did.
made a jump. So
Well, now when
But-
you're scared you're going to lose something, it might bring
But
something out of you.
but
you
there's
know?
still cricket politics behind the mayor.
yes,
That's the problem.
yeah, that's what we should focus on, and that's what's I mean,
No, that's profound that you said that, and I wonder if people like you and these guys, you can get together and say, hey, look, you're going to be here for a while and forget, any ambitions. How about trying to make this work, and we'll be behind you?
Yeah.
I like that.
yeah. He agreed that his issue, one of the things that he's not good at, and I pointed out, is if he could just explain to the city, like he explained to me, how things work and what he thinks is the problem, and I can put holes into his view, right? And that's our job to put that out. But it doesn't come from a nefarious inside job kind of thing. There's a culture there in City Hall.
Right.
And he's a part of that culture, and people are for him and against him. But there is manipulation happening there. And
yeah, there is.
And he may not even know what that manipulation
Well, here's a prime
around him
example.
is.
So there's these new signs out that say Slumlord Valdivia or Slumlords support Valdivia, and like they're pretty negative signs, right? Which is gangster, right?
I want one.
Yeah, I
You guys, go. You guys, you should save them for history
that's
because they're going to be
terrible.
valuable someday.
John, maybe you can remove one because they have
No,
your
that
name
is-
on
let me
it.
tell
Can
you,
get
do
me
not,
one?
That
you
is
aren't,
kind of
do not,
against the
do not,
law.
yeah, do
Yeah.
not touch anybody's
No,
signs.
I'm
ever.
not.
No, please.
After the 7th, after there's like 14
Hey,
days
can
after
you
the
get
election.
me one? Can you
Okay.
tell Scott Beard to get you
I
one?
don't even know who has
Yeah,
them.
no,
Amazing.
see,
No, I
Well-
mean when they take them down.
That's no.
So this is what I heard
Robert,
about these
can I
signs.
say
Let
one
me-
thing
okay,
about
go ahead.
signs?
Go ahead.
Common Cause, basically, they had a lawsuit. If somebody puts a sign on public property, you can take it down. I just took one of Mr. Tim Donnelly's down.
Okay,
The
well,
terrorist.
Can you get me one then? Is it public property?
Yeah, you can't put them on highways. You can't put them on parks. And
Yeah.
This guy
Yeah.
puts them everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, this is the
Okay.
main thing. Like, it gets gangster with all the signs and everything. But like, what? This is how gangster it is. Whoever made the signs didn't tell the mayor.
Well, they never do. The guy's got
No.
the press
So-
of
yeah.
hysteria.
So like plausible deniability, right? So basically, he can say, "Well, I didn't do it," but really, in the grand scheme of things, if you are a hardcore politician and leader,
Yeah.
not one thing ever happens around you.
Right.
You wouldn't have done that on my watch.
around, you know.
No, right? Like you wouldn't have done that.
Right.
Their heads
You would have
were
known.
all-
You would have known,
I
Carmel.
would have issued the order.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I would have said, yeah, I issued the
Well,
order.
you know what,
No.
though? I think that's done. I mean, that's what they tried with Pete Aguilar, and they changed it to Aguilar.
Stop.
Yes, I
And-
know.
and stop
and
Ramos.
and when that happened,
Yeah.
I was right there for that decision, and I said, "This is wrong. We should not do this," but they did it anyways. But here's the next level. All right, so there, Valdivia's sign we mentioned last week was slashed over there on Pacific High School on Pacific, right, all slashed up. Well, I looked at the way it was slashed, right? And it was slashed with an X-Acto and like kind of angles and stuff.
Right.
There's a similar slash sign of Mayor Davis over there off of the old Maria calendars, right? So I'm like, oh shoot, because we were, people are starting to talk about how Valdivia's signs are disappearing around the city,
is
but
that
then,
right?
also
No
our
way.
Ramos signs.
They're everywhere.
It sounds to me like this is an inside game. Like someone's
course it is.
actually
Of
doing
course it
playing
is.
both sides here
It-
to confuse people, but actually doing more of one than the other.
Well, I tell you, I saw one of Carmel's in Redlands, and it's still there.
Are you a write-in, Carmel? You write-in for mayor?
love it.
She's
You know,
still-
one of my friends did that, so I'm happy about that.
Well, whoever paid for those signs, I mean, it is brilliant. It's good. It's effective. It's noticed. It's.
Negative advertising.
I don't like signs and advertising. Period.
Okay, right, I agree.
That's my. Every city
Well,
should
this
just
is a
ban.
war. This is the biggest war I've ever seen. I've seen signs in places that they're not supposed to be.
Yeah,
and I
it's-
know who put them there. So I'm like,
Tear 'em down.
So what it is, it's like both since the mayor and a council person are running, and
Yeah.
they both are in charge, and ultimately the buck will probably stop at them. They'll put the sign anywhere they want.
Again, if they're on public property, rip them down.
Yeah, I but me personally, if I'm telling you, I say do not touch any sign.
Yeah,
Call the proper person. Call the Caltrans.
Al, you get
or
me
whatever.
one. I want one of those. There's
Now-
one on Watermill.
Okay.
Now, if you see any cannabis,
Freeway thing.
So
now we should get some cannabis signs coming up here eventually here, and I'm hopefully after that. That's all after the election. I want to get some of those
so
what?
for measure
X and W.
And
Okay.
then there should be anti too. I assume.
Is that the city of San Bernardino?
Just vote no.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Because there are people saying vote yes and put the $10 per square foot tax on businesses or grows, which I worked out to be not too much of a profit.
Not at all.
For 1,000 square feet.
Well, this is the problem.
But-
What do we
but-
get instead? The only thing we get is Measure O. It's still appealing, and so is N. And then we just still have to wait for 2 years, anyways, right? I mean, at least
The
we could
city
get
c-
some kind of ball rolling.
They
And this
blow it.
is what I want to do.
Blow
In
it.
2020, we have a new initiative. We go and talk to the people who have licenses. We grandfather them in. Everybody's happy.
No,
we
I'm
end up
not.
with some lounge.
Carmel's not happy.
What does Karma want? What does Karma want?
Carmel wants the city to say that they're sorry for all the shit that they did. Excuse me, sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
You said
And,
ship.
Beep, beep.
I want the city, and I want them to recognize their illegal ways, and I want them to give all the people who've been here fighting this fight and preaching,
Yeah.
a chance first.
Yeah.
Or I want
Right.
I want those people to be able to get equity, and I don't
Equity.
want big corporations to be able to come in and buy their way in because I don't think that's fair.
Yeah.
And I think that the slum that San Bernardino is. I think that, you should allow some people, before you tax the heck out of people, you should allow some people to get in and open their door. And if you cared about the
I
Robert
agree
Porters
that.
or
I
the
agree
Carmel
that. I
Rose
agree.
of the city, then you would do that. And if you're not doing that, then I mean, honestly, like, nobody really understands the taxes on marijuana. I understand it. Most of the people are men. And I'm sorry, fellas, but... no, these men, they just don't read everything the way a chick does. Okay? I'm just going to be real honest.
You don't want to mess with
Venus,
Carl right
Venus
now.
and Mars.
But my point is that
She's right.
is that there's a lot of things that are not correct. And if you pass the measure saying, hey, you want marijuana, because that's what they really want. They really want that. Then you bring along this tax, and nobody's really considered the crippling effect of what this is going to do. And then you know what we really do? We really give them control for the next 2 years, and we
Yeah.
really freaking
That's-
lose it.
That's what we don't want
it's
to
two
do.
more
That's
years
what we don't
lost,
want.
right.
So this is the issue. Right now, nobody can get any weed in the city. It's hard as hell. So what they're doing is they're going back to their old dealer in their old little networks. But still,
Underground markets are
Captain
alive.
Jack's has still got their monopoly.
Guess what? I don't care because I'm going to sue the city. I'm going to beat the city. Measure N is suing the city, and they can beat the city.
I just want to get
You-
weed.
How many are
accessible
there?
to
Look,
our
How many
people.
lawsuits?
That's
Look,
what's
Robert.
most important.
Look, Robert. After this, within 12 months, we can have a whole nother initiative, and then they never gain control.
We will still do that. We'll
Yeah,
still do that.
for
But
sure.
No,
like,
once they're in
No.
control, we're never getting it
I
back.
hate to say what Carmel was saying is spot on. Is that they will initiative you or referendum them to death. Suits are the only thing that these cities in the county understand.
One
That's the
way,
only
yes.
thing.
Well,
so then if it doesn't happen, right? What's going to happen in 2020? There's going to be another initiative, and it's just going to be the same thing, and then it's going to be against ours.
Why not 2019?
Yeah.
And why not just adopt state law? Why not have one freaking line that says we adopt state law?
2019
There-
it's not a good election year to throw. You want to win?
No, we don't. What we want is to spend a whole year getting only our people to show up to vote because they ain't showing up for nothing else, and then we slaughter these guys.
I wish that would happen every time, my man.
there's a state law that's just coming up that an inspector I talked to today reminded me of, and that would be the cart, the food
vendors.
vendor cart law. When that happens, you can sell marijuana.
That's what I thought.
You can sell marijuana in a cart. Okay, the city, I found out today, is talking about. Well, some people in the city are talking about creating a downtown event where you bring the carts in because they know that this is going to happen. The speculation is
That's that was my first idea. I already told my kids I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
You can't mess with me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go right and I'm gonna sell it by the tacos.
taco,
Yeah.
potato tacos.
Boy, the FDA will come.
But see,
Jumping
all
in.
that can be contested because there is these doors opening up for micro businesses like the equity program that the
I want a weed taco.
Hey, dude.
right.
Come to Carmel's Wheat Tacos on State and Highland. I'll be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
CBD.
Out of control.
Yeah, the farmers market thing is gonna open it up. So even like the city needs to be worked with to get the laws friendly enough for businesses to come in and thrive, and that whole cart business is gonna, I think, is part of
So
this
so
whole
when you saw
solution.
the mayor at the Green Shack today, did everyone smoke a joint before they ate lunch?
He was at the Green Shack?
Yes. Oh, great.
What was he doing there?
We were
having a
having,
meet
having
and
lunch at the
greet.
Green Shack. The
Meet and
whole
greet.
crew was. Yeah,
Oh,
we
it's
were,
great there.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty
Manal-
interesting.
thank
Why
you,
did you
Manal,
bring me a
for-
sandwich, Robert?
Manel,
I'm upset now that I didn't
Manel's
get a
all-
sandwich.
I brought dessert.
Manel's whole thing was she wanted to make sure that the people that do know the mayor got a chance to see him like Sung did in
Yeah.
a different
Yeah,
atmosphere.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And it was interesting event. It was,
Yeah.
and I don't mind being there, and I still not gonna support either or. I'm keeping my feelings to myself right now,
Coulda
but
supported me with the
but I always support the Green Shack, and the fact that the mayor is supporting 40 years of the Green Shack being there and stuff. That's really important.
Were they
Yeah.
just a juice vegetarian place before?
No, they've been the liquor store for 40 years.
Oh, they're a
and-
liquor
Travel
store?
agency.
And
Yeah.
travel agency,
And
bill pay.
They got it all there. Printing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and the best
And you know what?
You
Sandwiches
can take a
and
cruise.
oh man.
They're-
Sandwiches are to die for.
And they're going to expand, and I don't know any reason why they shouldn't have front and center at that new 5th Street project.
Me either.
Yeah,
Right?
I think it's all up to what they do. But my whole thing is I'll support them whatever they decide, and I'm always there to showcase the good things that they're doing in the community. And it is kind of cool for people to show up there and be able to see
Yeah,
the mayor and
yeah.
not be in
It
his
is.
political capacity.
Well, I just want to say that, that nice 5th Street project, what are you guys going to build there? And then people are still going to be seeing prostitutes and those horrible hotels. Like, those hotels are what needs to be eminent domain. And you can eminent domain that for public benefit and the welfare of the people.
Don't get rid of the teepee place.
No, it's not the teepee place. It's,
They will be forced to upgrade their facilities.
Yeah.
They will have to either go out of business because the money that they'll spend on 5th Street. Oh, the company's called ICO from Los Angeles, and they do public projects like this. They're the ones who need the input from the city, so the citizens to say, we want this. We want it to see like this. They're the ones that we really should be reaching out to, some of us.
well, I reached out to Kathy Brand to tell her so she could tell them.
Okay. Oh, is she going to continue on as our...
No, I don't know. I mean, the election's not over.
Yeah.
But the fact this is my problem. Now I'm going to tell you, this is why I can't really support the mayor, and I was going to support the mayor. Is that I know Kathy Brand to be a stand-up person, and I know her work in Oceanside. Okay, you go to Oceanside, it's walking traffic, it's money being spent. Kathy Brand was in charge of that. If you tell me that you are going to do away with one position and make it two, but you're not going to give the person who's already doing it that you hired, who's already been working on it, that job, you're going to go try to find somebody in Redlands when this person has an excellent credibility, resume, I mean, like, not just little stuff behind them. You know what I mean? Like real stuff that
Yeah.
you really did to improve a city and to improve the sales tax dollars.
That's the city manager's fault. It's because she
Okay.
gets personal.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that lies with the mayor.
I think
Ultimately, yes, but-
But this is one thing like that I've noticed is if the city manager don't like you, she gets this kind of weird chip on my
hired her.
shoulder, right?
She hired her.
So yeah, no, but this is what's crazy. Like as soon as she doesn't like you, she gets the chip, right? So when I go around as different city workers, like and ask them about the city manager, and then say something like other city people don't like her, right? They always get this little like not all of
Smirk.
them. Yeah, that smirk.
Oh, they all tell me.
Like-
They stop me to tell me. They flag me down.
Like they're talking about the same exact thing in the background, and I maybe she just doesn't realize it that
Well,
she's
she
not
doesn't-
well liked
No, I don't
amongst
think
her
she
crew.
cares. I don't
Yeah.
Yeah, she's on.
No,
she cares.
She's
No,
doing
she
something
doesn't.
wrong. If you're a leader of people and they don't like you, there's something wrong.
Because she's getting all those county freaking people in there, and all the corruption
Right.
is.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. The mayor. That's why I'm upset. We need a different city manager, and if we're gonna keep the same city manager, because she does read, and she has had to straighten up a lot of mess. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
from that. What's his name? Alan. What was his name? Alan
Morris?
Parker.
Yeah,
Alan Parker. A lot of mess from that. So
Who-
So I appreciate that, but the
Old
thing.
city manager.
The thing of it is that the mayor, and the council should say no. This is what we want, and this is what you're going to do, and that's not happening. And that is too much power for the city manager, and that is actually the opposite of what the charter spells out.
I addressed that with the mayor today. I was going to bring the diagram of how the city manager is in the center of the circle with all the rest, and I asked him, now by redefining that planning and economic housing, are you giving too much power to the city manager? And he said no.
I didn't say that. That's not what I just said.
Okay.
What I said is there's already too much power for the city manager because she's doing all the thinking. The thinking isn't coming from the mayor and the council. It's coming from the city manager, and that's the problem because then she's able to do whatever she wants to city employees. And there's a lot of good.
They are
And that's
afraid-
where that's
yeah.
where they lose touch with the common citizen.
But also, can I say that there are a lot of bad city employees?
Yeah.
If you look at every city government agency, there are people milking it.
But there is,
we know,
but
right?
there is also a lot of good city
Right,
employees.
But
exactly.
if there's people that you know
Are yeah.
doing a good job,
And-
and then they.
They're not going to retain her. Or
I mean, that
put
just doesn't
her-
make any sense to me.
We got a phone call, team. You ready?
All right.
Oh wait.
Bring it on.
Who is this? Is this Sandra Ibarra?
The one and only. Hi, Howard.
How you doing,
Hi, Sandra.
Hello, Sandra.
I called you.
Good.
So
I know. I was speaking actually.
Oh.
Did you have
Yeah.
fun at the little event over there at the Center for Spiritual Living?
I did. We had about 20 people show up. So that's beautiful. Beautiful turnout for being the first meeting that they had.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was unfortunate that your opponent couldn't have been there to meet and greet with everybody, but I was real proud that you showed up.
Yes. It was unfortunate because some of the neighbors haven't met her yet, and they were looking forward to at least, get to meet her as well. But
So
I was there.
So what do you want to tell the city of San Bernardino?
Take a hike.
Come out and vote.
Hey, Sandra, I have a question. This is Sung.
Hi, son.
I saw that there's some controversy about your opponent's job as description. Is she a teacher or a gym teacher? And is that something that we should be concerned about?
Same thing.
Her.
Well, on my end, it was very misleading. Her ballot designation was elementary school teacher. We did our research. We looked at the state of California, and we looked at the Norton School's website, the charter school she's employed at, and her title is classified rotation.
Mm-hmm.
So that, and there's no credentials.
No
So
credential?
For her to, no credential from the state of California. So for her to be put on her ballot that she's a
Yeah, that's a
elementary school teacher
that's-
was very
Yeah, but
misleading.
you would have to have at least an emergency credential
yeah.
put in there as a substitute. Other
Right,
than that,
you can't
no.
claim to be something you're not. Like I've ran for office, and they actually are supposed to do checks on that. So I don't know how that really got in there, but I could see how that would be misleading because then there's a bunch of teachers, all the teachers would see that and say, "Oh, we're going to
That's
vote for a
baloney.
teacher," and
Right.
that's not really fair because
Yeah.
if you're not a teacher, you're not a teacher.
It looks shady.
And she is endorsed by a group, is she not? Is she
Yeah,
not?
well, I know she's got some donation from Jim Morris, John Longville, and
Oh,
she's
God.
supported by Virginia and Fred.
Mhm.
So So yeah, I feel that they're going to be trying to tell her how to vote.
They're using and abusing her right
they're
now.
old school bad politicians.
And I do know that she does care about the city.
Yeah,
We've had the conversation, and it's unfortunate that these people are trying to already, tell her how to get things done or not get things done in the city.
And if she does make it in there and doesn't do exactly what they say, they'll treat him just like Barrios. Or treat her just like Barrios. That they will go after him.
Yeah, Benito didn't have a good treatment after the primary from those same people. So I mean, it's rather unfortunate. I was looking forward to have a heart-to-heart conversation with her today and warn her. But it is what it is. She's excited.
Sandra,
to run,
have you seen that San Bernardino corrupt?
Is he corrupt? Yeah, and I've actually commented on it.
Who runs that stuff? Do you know?
Don't tell me the DA.
It was Scott Beard.
Is it
Citizens
Scott
for
Beard?
Responsible Government is what it.
Let's just say when the ads show up on your ad, it'll say a different name, and maybe you can just connect the dots.
Why wouldn't Scott Beard support you?
There was a whole hit piece on Scott Beard. Do you think that was just a cover?
Honestly, I wish he would just come out and say, "I'm running that page."
Somebody did. I saw it on
paying,
Facebook.
or say, "I'm paying for those for that to be posted." I mean, we want a transparent government. We want trustworthy officials up there that are going to really care about the city and, expose it all.
Well, some of the stuff. I read it. I don't like sharing that kind of stuff because I don't know exactly during this political time the legitimacy of all of it. But some of it looks kind of shady. When you go have a basketball game with the Lakers and you spend like thousands of dollars.
But that's our election system. It's okay. It's not illegal to do that.
Yeah, I know.
That's all out
as
of
long as those.
It's not, but it is.
Money, as long as those contributions and those expenses are reported.
And they're not,
as possible,
and that's
it should be
pandering.
fine.
Exactly, they're not reported.
Oh yeah, they were. That's how they got the information.
That one, all I know is Scott Beard and the Ferris brothers. That we have a group, Save Lytle Creek, and we're going to be going to trial on October 26th. This is the second time appellate court. Mr. Beard and the Ferris brothers trying to put 9,000 homes down our throat.
Could you explain
Mr. Beard is a developer, and that's what he does. And
very successful.
He's a very nice man. I've met with him lots of times.
Talk to the people in Rialto, the Vietnam vets that we're going to lose their homes.
No, there's always a negative and a positive when it comes to development.
There's nothing
My
positive
mom and dad
about
live in Lytle
that.
Creek, and they don't want 9,000 homes.
9,000.
Like I told every developer that interviewed me for endorsement.
The whole thing.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, we're listening.
I'm sorry.
I'm listening.
Okay, no. Well, on my end, I've talked to developers for possible endorsements, and I tell them we need to find win-win solutions for the whole city, the people who live here, the people who work here, and for your projects. So I want to make sure that before I have a project before me, that there's been community input and they approve it. So that way they feel comfortable and they embrace it rather than bringing a project that nobody's going to embrace.
Could I give you a hint from the real leftist environmental view? Anytime we hear somebody say win-win, the environment gets screwed. That happened with the Forest Service employees and the Nestle's lawsuit. Somebody loses, and it's usually the environment.
Exactly. Well, the environment and the people themselves.
Exactly.
Too. So, yeah, it's just one of those things that we have to work. Like you mentioned right now, they're trying to, 9,000 units?
9,000 homes. And now Rialto is breaking the project up illegally and trying to fly it through the county of San Bernardino, which, of course, anything goes, and the city of Rialto, where anything goes, and that's it.
I did see, though, Rialto was building up. I was kind of impressed.
Yeah, they are.
Building up. They have 3 billion empty square warehouse fulfillment centers that will fulfill nobody's life, and thousands of homes with no water.
Really?
Well, thank you so much, Sandra, for
Hey,
calling.
thank you
in.
guys. Please come out to vote.
All right,
Please
make
come
sure,
out to vote.
go ahead, get out
Thank
there and
you.
rock the vote, everybody, for sure.
Gotta vote.
Sandra Ibarra, Ward 2.
Bye.
Or two.
And we'll put your pictures up later, Sandra.
You got it. Thank you, Robert.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And she
Good luck.
even did a little speech in Spanish. Now,
Oh, nice.
for Miss Dolan, I would have done the same thing for her if
You
she was
bet.
there and put up nice pictures of her. But you didn't show up, and that we needed you to be there. I really wanted to hear your story, and I was a little disappointed.
Somebody doesn't
Yeah.
show up, that just tells me they
Yeah,
don't have
yeah,
the conviction to
yeah,
run.
Yeah, for me, like I tried to. I mean, I even made it there, and I was live on the radio at 7, so like there can't be really much excuse, you know. But maybe something happened. You
And
never
those
know. You never
debates
know.
and those little, that's the fun in running. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
it should be.
that's when
Yeah.
you get to hear what people are and who people
Well, no,
are.
when you don't know when you're as heavily involved as in the city as we are, and you don't really know somebody, how involved could they really be? And that's just a straight, honest truth. I mean, if I don't know your name, if I'm not seeing you at all these events, then where are you? And that's been bugging me since I first seen her on the ballot. Is that I don't really see you. I see you at where are you at the city events? Like that's important when you're trying to get your name out there and be truthful with everybody and people to see who you really are. To me, it feels she's kind of trying to stay back because she's already got the lead, right?
Oh.
Like when you're already winning and you're like, well,
Don't want to
you know,
make any more waves.
and you don't have to try too hard, right? Because you're already winning.
Is there some poll that says that she is somewhat ahead?
No, the last time because she was the highest vote getter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so
And-
she's got a base of voters that last time. Okay.
Yeah, and
oh, yeah.
and it
Oh, I
probably
didn't know that.
it's probably like a false confidence you
Right.
get from it because I wouldn't rely on that. I watched that happen to Paul Chabot and he
Probably
lost
doesn't-
the
he probably-
general
She probably
election.
doesn't have much money. I mean, she's
People are
a
giving her
mom
money.
Well, and
She's not a
and
single
then-
mom.
This is the
No,
thing; it
she's not
doesn't
a
cost
mom?
any money to go to a city meeting.
Or-
I see you there, son, and we're almost at every city meeting, all of us, except you.
well,
Where you been
okay.
out, Kelly?
okay.
You
The participation in the city by the people of San Bernardino is very low in
Yes,
every
yes.
single way.
True.
And that is probably the most important thing that we should all
Yeah.
But
Try-
the thing
but
is
more
that they don't
participation.
listen anyways.
okay.
Like, yeah, you try talking nice, you try talking polite, they still don't listen.
Well, they listen to
But-
this one. All right, so I'm gonna have
So-
Carmel read this, right?
Okay.
All right, so I hope you can read my crazy quote, but this is in the Sun. Mr. Whitehead asked for my opinion about what's going to happen in the next election
Why did it take Brian Whitehead?
because
Okay,
he's
go-
trying to help me out. So
Okay,
we're
let me read
only
it.
talking good about Brian today.
we love Brian.
We love you,
Brian's
Brian.
good.
Yeah,
Okay. I really believe we have a system in place that regardless of which direction these elections go, will ensure stability going forward, he said. Robert Porter, a lifelong San Bernardino resident who runs the popular I Love San Bernardino Facebook page
I love San Bernardino.
and is a regular at city council meetings, said, a council shakeup could be good for the city and its Midrid needs. I feel like we're being led by an old guard. So to say, that's lost touch with the community at large, Porter said. They have their base that they listen to, but they can't hear other people. June primaries election narrowed the field in each local race to 2 candidates.
All right, so go ahead and read the candidates. I know.
Gil Botello and Ted Sanchez are running for Ward 1. Sandra Ibarra and Cecilia Miranda Dolan are candidates in Ward 2. Charette is running against Alex Beltran in Ward 4. And Valdivia is squaring off against Mayor Kerry Davis.
So who's running against Alex? Who? Someone's running against Alex.
Fred?
Yeah, Fred Charette is
Who's
running.
Short.
Fred Charette? He's been around.
Who's short?
Alex
Who's that?
Beltran,
been
if
around for a long
anybody's
time.
listening in San
Professor?
Bernardino, Ward
Yeah, I
4,
think
please.
so.
Does he go to
Vote.
any events? Like I don't know. Like
For Alex Beltran.
does he go to the city meetings? Fred Charette. That doesn't ring a bell. Like have you met him before or?
I think he might have bought some Girl Scout cookies.
Okay, he's in. That qualifies for San Bernardino, Mayor.
Or maybe
So wait a minute. Did you read the rest of this?
No, he did. He blocked that out.
It says,
Karma, let's go redacted.
it says, should Valdivia be elected mayor and Nickel assemblyman, the city charter says the council would have to decide by ordinance how to fill their respective 3rd and 5th ward seats. So that means they could put in whoever they want
Right here.
without
right here.
sending it to the vote of the people.
Right. No, they always do that. It's always an appointee.
Yeah, so
Be nice,
so
Karma.
who's gonna be the appointee? Like, it depends. We'll have to see.
You ready, Robert? You or Karma?
Oh no! Like, I always tell people, why do you want to silence me? Because if you become an
wouldn't
elected
be-
official,
no,
you are
no.
silenced.
No, you don't have to cop that. Come on.
Hey, Nate Frog was supposed to call in here, man. Where's Nate Frog, man? I wanted to hear what a real
Robert.
local San Bernardino
Robert.
feels about
Robert.
the elections.
I also think that Brian Whitehead is the only writer who will write about San Bernardino that many people will read.
Because he's not tainted.
He's good.
That's why.
Well, I-
that's why they
but-
they
Very
had
objective.
Ryan leave. Well, I love Ryan Hagan, but they had him leave because
But
he was more.
here's-
He focused on one side.
The press does not broadcast the issues and the things that the city needs to deal with. They don't do a good. I think it's partly their fault for not engaging the citizens of the city, because there's no press to. Who
This
reads?
is. You remember this
We
whole
don't-
thing is run by Orange County. The press and the Sun suck. They
Yeah.
are terrible.
Wait,
But-
the
but-
sun just
but-
put me in there.
all right,
man.
but- all right,
Let's
we
not
have
forget.
that.
writers here that
Sun.
could-
But guess what? How many people get the newspaper? This is what's really ticking me off about the Sun. I want to tell you.
Where's Art Kimball when you need him?
How many people really get the
Rich.
newspaper nowadays? Now, I like to read my stuff online, right? Always on Facebook. And I used to be able to read every single freaking article. And now they pop a thing up and tell me, oh, now I got to pay 99
pay.
cents because I read too much. I don't want to pay 99 cents.
No, they're not worth it.
No,
right.
Send me my. If I want to pay 99 cents, I'll get a paper newspaper. Let me read it. If you're going to put out the news, let me freaking read
if
it.
Carmel wakes up at 7, she could come join me and Jim over there at Starbucks every morning where they have the paper for free.
Well, Carmel wakes up at 6 o'clock and she gets her little bad children up, and then she takes them to school, and that takes all the way until 8:15. So Carmel gets up when it's
do you
freaking
have-
dark
when
outside.
do you have time for coffee?
I don't.
No, poor
I don't even have time to
Carmel.
curl my hair. Okay.
Now,
You don't even want to know all the
every
things
time
I
I
did
call
today.
Carmel, I have to admit she's taking the kids somewhere or picking them up from somewhere. I think
I'm
that's,
telling you.
that must be every parent's life.
Or at least every single parent's life, because there's only one person to do it.
Well,
If
we're
it-
proud of you, Carmel.
If it wasn't you, Carmel, I would say, like, if you have kids, do not get into politics. If you have kids, you should be out of the picture. But you can do all that and more.
Yes, son, I can.
All right. Well, if you are a super mommy or super parent, you know, you can always check out J.R. McDowell. And he's over there at Brew Rebellion throwing Locapalooza, and that's going to be on the 3rd, the same day as the air show over there at
Yeah, I was
San
gonna go.
Bernardino.
The show.
So you could go to the air show first on November 3rd, then go down to Brew Rebellion and see their Locapalooza stuff going
Son,
down
let's
over there.
go. Remind me and let's
It'll
go.
be
Yeah,
a lot
let's
of
go.
fun.
Let's do it.
We just had Sam Manuel's powwow for the last 3 days. What an incredible blessing. It rained on Saturday. It rained.
Oh,
so we
now
moved
I know
everything
why it
inside.
rained.
But oh man, it was a really cool experience to see. Now they always love to do it outside.
Right.
If they can, they always do. But moving it inside and outside and seeing it both ways,
Oh, that's cool.
that was kind of pretty interesting for
Yeah.
me. And I must say, I wish they could pull like a retractable roof or something on the Casulas
Casulas?
Arena, because wow, having all those 1,000 dancers. Now imagine 1,000 dancers
yeah.
for their grand entry going in a circle.
Ma-
It felt like the roof was going to blow off that thing. There was so much
That's
energy.
a great idea.
Oh, man,
They
it
should
was-
build a
They do
stadium
that in
for
Phoenix.
powwows and have powwows here from all over the United States
As long as the public doesn't have to pay for it.
The thing
Well, they
is,
do if they go to the Indian casino and spend all their money.
most of the thing with
Yep.
the powwow is they want the tribe wants to have it, or their clan wants to have it on the land that they're from.
yeah,
right?
that's-
so that's why there's so many.
Well, that's Cal State.
And I just
Right.
did a whole yesterday.
true.
I just
Or
studied
back-
all the history of powwow, and in the history goes back thousands of years to the dancing. Now they didn't necessarily call it powwow; they called it fiesta, many different things. But it was ceremonies that they held dancing and
trading
song,
time.
and really interesting stuff. And it's really interesting to study the old ways and then see the newer costumes and to see that there's a modernism that's progressing into even their culture, and that they've come a long ways from the days of everything being alone and secret and
Right.
actually white people taking advantage of them doing that. Now they run it all on their own, and they bring in all the people and they fill up all the hotels, they all the eateries around there, the vendors, the taco
Right.
places where
Right.
there was
brings
about
in-
thousands and thousands of people there.
And I agree. James Ramos did a lot to really push that and
he
make
was
it happen.
singing so good.
I give him credit.
Yeah, Mr. Ramos, he went up there, did his sheep songs and everything. Now, I went and asked permission. How did they feel about me videoing? And they really didn't want it. So I said, that's fine with me. I'll take good pictures. I will not video anymore. And the reason being is that it's kind of private for them, and they're trying to get into that.
That's cool.
For them, and that's fine. It actually gave a lot of work. It actually took a lot of work for me, so I could take pictures and really focus in instead of having to do video and doing both. So to me, it was a blessing. And now I have some incredible pictures of some of those dancers at the grand entry. Like, wow,
Great costumes.
Yeah,
Wow,
it was a
incredible.
cool
I've been
event.
to some.
Okay, Tracy Lee Nelson went to the Native American Music Awards and he won. Woo! Man, he won. So that's that's putting our the San Bernardino. Not San Bernardino. He's from Southern California, but he actually
Loyola.
he always comes over there here to San Bernardino and does a lot of events with us. And he's a native blues singer, and he went to the Native American Music Awards and came home with an award.
And
so,
he went out and he came on our show.
yeah, he's
Wow.
a good guy. And then
Where was
we have
that at?
they held it out in New York City.
New York?
Yes. The Veterans Parade, Sunday, November 11th, 11 a.m. near Meadowbrook Park. And then, of course, a turkey trot on Thanksgiving, November 22nd, 7 a.m. the San Bernardino International Airport. I will be MC, so be there. Come on down. You can register beforehand on their website or register there. I'll be posting up about it a lot, but it's called the San Bernardino Turkey Trot, and it's a lot of fun. Yes, Mr. Kelly?
Yeah, tomorrow, County Board of Supervisors be there to protest the new fire tax they're going to put on all the poor people in the unincorporated areas.
Yep, just like they did in San Bernardino. And then also we have a city meeting on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. So everyone's welcome to come. I really would love to see you there. And if you need help figuring out what to do there, just show up, say, Robert Porter, help me. And then I'll show you how to fill out the public speaking slips or whatever you want.
Don't forget to vote on November 6th.
That's so important.
The sample ballots came out. Early voting is about to begin, and every vote counts. And every city in the state needs it. You know, everything needs.
I
to
forgot
be
one
voted
thing.
on.
I forgot the Scary Shack, October 28th. All right, we're throwing a Scary Shack along with the 40th anniversary of the Green Shack. So get the kids dressed up and win a pumpkin. Come on down there, and we'll have a huge, they call it a dead man's party.
Who could ask for more?
Oh, that's good.
Hey, what are you going to dress up as, son?
Ghostbusters.
Doug is just gonna bring a marijuana plant.
Hey, if you put a bunch of pillows on, you could be Kim Sung-il, right? You could-
Oh,
That would be
stereotype.
great. I should go as Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, you. Oh,
That
you-
would be good.
We did that in Redlands last year, and then a friend of mine had Trump's head with a hatchet, and the police said, get off the street.
Oh man, well we love you, San Bernardino. This is
Good
the I Love
San
San Bernardino
Bernardino.
County Radio Show, and this is Robert Porter and Carmel Rowe, and we are
Ow!
out of here.
Oh, Dodgers, Red Sox.
Say you don't know me, I recognize my face. Say you don't care who goes to that kind of place. Knee deep in the hoopla,
sinking in your fight. Too many runaways eating up the night.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
NBC News Radio, I'm Brian Shook. President Trump is coming up on top after a Los Angeles judge dismissed a defamation claim filed by adult film actress Stormy Daniels. Daniels accused Trump of defamation after he said she was lying about being threatened over an alleged affair a decade ago. Saudi Arabia reportedly has plans to admit that a Saudi journalist was accidentally killed during a botched interrogation attempt. CNN reports that Saudi Arabia may reveal that they had planned to abduct and transport Jamal Khashoggi to Saudi Arabia, but he was killed accidentally in the process. Earlier today, President Trump voiced his theory about what may have happened.
It sounded to me like maybe these could have been rogue killers. We're going to try getting to the bottom of it very soon.
Bill Gates is expressing his sadness following the death of his Microsoft co-founder, Paul Allen. Gates said Allen deserved much more time, but his contributions will live for generations to come. Brian Shook, NBC News Radio.
Welcome to the Tom Hartman Program. I'm live right here, Monday through Friday.
Are you ready for the #1 progressive talk show host in America?
71% of people say that the information they get from their friends and family, they take more seriously than the stuff they read in the media. Only 42% of Americans think the media is the most credible source of news. And therefore, if you're informed, if you're awake, you need to be telling your friends. You need to be talking to your friends and family.
24-time New York Times bestselling author and has nearly 6.5 million listeners nationwide.
These are crimes. These are international crimes against humanity, and I would love to see somebody held to account in this administration.
Introducing Tom Hartman on KCAA Radio, weekday afternoons starting at 2.